So, things are really starting to heat up for Jesus.
Yes, sir, they are. Now that Judas has decided to betray him for some reason.
Oh, right. And you guys had those two very different finales for Judas you were working on.
We did. Judas either throwing the money back at the priests and running off to hang himself, or Judas keeping the money, buying a field with it, then walking into that field and exploding.
Correct.
So which one did you decide on?
Both.
Both.
Weren't we trying to consolidate all these plots your multiple authors keep excreting?
Well, yes.
Okay, so isn't it going to be impossible to consolidate these two very different finales for Judas?
Actually, it's going to be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yep, all we have to do is combine them through the miraculous lens of hermeneutics.
That's right. With hermeneutics, up can be down, black can be white, and in can be out.
Now you're getting it, sir. And since we also have two prophecies of Judas we have to fulfill, it's going to work out perfectly.
The Old Testament has prophecies for Judas too.
Can you believe it?
I cannot.
One is mentioned in Matthew, and it goes, "Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. They took the 30 pieces of silver, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field, as the Lord commanded me." See how beautifully that fits? Pretty cool, right? So the second prophecy that's fulfilled...
Hang on a second.
Shit.
Where the hell is that quote in Jeremiah?
Chapter 32, verses 7 through 12. Supposedly.
I remember there is the sale of some random field mentioned in that chapter, but I don't think there's anything about 30 pieces of silver, or a potter for that matter.
Well, I may have borrowed the bit about a potter's field from the 18th chapter of Jeremiah.
Okay, there is an actual potter mentioned in that chapter, but there's nothing about a field.
Well, apparently I may also be referencing a quote from Zechariah.
Zechariah?
Yeah, it's in the 11th chapter. Check this out. "So they paid me 30 pieces of silver, and the Lord said to me, 'Throw it to the potter,' the handsome price at which they valued me. So I took the 30 pieces of silver and threw them to the potter at the house of the Lord."
Oh, for God's sake, that's what you're trying to turn into a prophecy about Judas?
Well, yeah.
Would it surprise you to learn that chapter of Zechariah has absolutely nothing to do with any betrayer of a Messiah or his eventual burial plot? The guy in that story gets the 30 pieces of silver as compensation for his services as a shepherd. It's an allegory about God trying to lead his chosen nincompoops, not a prophecy about a Messiah's betrayer. So you've stitched together this Frankenstein's monster of a non-prophecy from all these unrelated bits from multiple books of the Old Testament, mislabeled it as being from Jeremiah when in fact it's mostly from Zechariah, and then tried to attach it to Judas in the book of Matthew? Yes. What a great prophecy. Can't imagine anyone questioning the divine origin of that one.
Maybe they won't.
And you said you had two of these prophecies for Judas?
Yes, sir. In Acts, after Judas buys a field with his ill-gotten gains,
instead of giving his money to the priests as he did in Matthew.
Which is exactly the same thing.
Hermeneutics.
Hermeneutics. The remaining disciples decide that a replacement must be found to take Judas' place. "For," said Peter, "it is written in the book of Psalms, 'May his place be deserted, let there be no one to dwell in it, and may another take his place of leadership.'"
Wow, these prophecies just keep getting crappier and crappier.
What? What's wrong with that one?
In that prophecy, there are two individual verses that have been lifted from two separate psalms. Respectively, they're from Psalms 69 verse 25 and Psalms 109 verse 8.
How?
And they have absolutely nothing to do with the fate of any betrayer of a Messiah.
The verses are quote mined from psalms that are generic screeds by a paranoid author suffering from a persecution complex, and it is transparently disingenuous to present them as any sort of prophecy. You really need to rethink whether or not you want to include these ridiculous non-prophecies.
Oh, I'll do that.
Great. So however all that plays out with Judas, Jesus does get turned over to the authorities.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, Jesus has been turned over to the Pharisees, and we thought this would be the perfect time for Jesus to boast, "My dad can beat up your dad." You're going to have Jesus issue the classic schoolyard taunt, "Yeah, sure, I don't care." Oh, wow, wow, wow. What? I am a great writer. Just to be clear here, Jesus' father is God. Duh. Yeah, I think I'd be putting my money down on God for any dad-on-dad matchup like that. Oh, yeah. That's a boast that's going to sound really weird coming from the supposed Lamb of God, huh? It makes Jesus sound oddly bombastic. Or, and work with me here, maybe we could lean into it. What? I am so sick and tired of passive Jesus. Are you? Yeah, we should have Jesus go beast mode. Beast mode, eh? How's this? Do you think I cannot call on my father and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? I suppose that is more interesting than "My dad can beat up your dad." I know, right? And more than 12 legions of angels? I mean, that is an ostentatious display of power. Wow, nothing sounds holier than dialogue that's indistinguishable from that of a trust fund kid invoking his father's legal prowess. Golly. Think of the carnage legions of angels could inflict. We puny humans of these ancient barbaric times would be completely at their mercy. I hate it when you do that, sir, but yes, the angels would surely kick some ass. Oh, angels kicking human ass would be tight. Yeah. You know, as often as God pops into the story to undermine human free will, I'm not so sure we shouldn't make this angel army a permanent thing. I don't know about that. Maybe their first order of business could be to push those infidel Romans out of the promised land. Kinda makes you wonder why that hasn't been done already. Or, geez, maybe we just start small by having them give those lousy Pharisees a good kick in the crotch. You know, I'm thinking maybe this angel army isn't such a good idea. Having Jesus able to call down legions of angels at will is going to make it impossible for people to ignore that it is He, Jesus Christ, who serves and is the one true God. All right. Settle down there, big fella. Why? I don't think you've thought this Legion of Angels thing through. We've been pushing the Prince of Peace persona so hard. It's going to be completely contradictory to have Jesus threatening the authorities with violence. Oh, right. That would be utterly at odds with the character we've spent so much time defining. It would. Christ, Luke even has Jesus ordering his disciples to buy some swords. Seriously, the sacrificial Lamb of God wants his followers wielding edged weapons. Yep. That's absurd. Jiminy, it is. We would look like idiots if such a 180 in Jesus' character was in there. Jesus threatening to call on God to put 12 legions of angels at his disposal? What was I thinking? Cut it, you gotta cut it. Yeah, I'll do it later. Don't forget. I won't. So, yeah. So what happens next? That's pretty much it for today. Geez, we didn't get much accomplished with this one. We didn't. What? Well, I've been looking for an opportunity to get rid of a sight gag that Larry has insisted we insert. Larry, our favorite meth-smoking Bible contributor? Yes, that Larry. Who doggies, what kind of sight gag are we talking about? God, it's so dumb. But I bet you're gonna still shoehorn whatever the hell it is in there, aren't you? I have to. Because he brings the pizza and beer. Because he brings the pizza and beer, yes. Clearly your hands are tied. Yeah, so now's as good a time as any to put it in here, I guess. I can't wait to hear what he came up with this time.
Well, yes, they call him the street